So, happy weekend, everyone. It's currently Saturday, so hope everyone is enjoying their weekend. Usually Saturday is not that interesting of a trading day, but let's just make a video just because it can. So, I want to go quickly over the high time frame and then go over into the low time frame, and I'm just gonna rant a little bit. So currently on the 3-day chart. So what is the current situation? We, of course, if we look at the high time frame, we had this long-term uptrend. Basically, if we look from low to high, you can say high time frame uptrend is high, high, low. This range, which was an accumulation range, broke upwards, higher high, higher low, where you had your 1, 2, 3 reaccumulation, which brought us into the all-time high at around 124k, where we had 1, 2, 3 Model 1 distribution, and then right here broke structure back to bearish, and since then price has been in this downtrend. Low, lower high, lower low, lower high, which was our latest redistribution range, where we had that range distribution, and then the lower low where we are currently. Still very similar to what we had in 2022. Let's see right here, where also price had a 1, 2, 3, broke down, reaccumulation, pushed up, high, 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 swept the highs, broke down, and then this, the comparison we made a lot lately, was that we had that low, high, the range. Let's show it on the daily, it's better visual, where you had that naked low right there, naked low, higher low, range, everyone getting bullish, which turned into a bearish PO3 distribution, break back in the range, in the value area, sell off, down. So if we compare the current range with the 22 fractal, you have your range, you have your distribution, bearish period 3, breakdown of the range, a new local range was formed where you kind of had your redistribution as well, with a naked low, range, distribution, sell-off, continuation, which then was a really long range right here, where you eventually accumulated below and then started to push upwards. So keep this in mind. You have your range distribution, breakdown of the range, consolidation below your range while you already broke down from the deviation threshold. Deviation threshold was here, so you wicked below it, consolidated below it, couldn't reclaim the range, and then broke down further. So if we just look, how is the current situation right now? Oh, that went wrong right here. Then you can say that price here at your 1, 2, 3 broke structure to bearish right there, formed your redistribution range right here with that deep wick range. Perfect picture, bearish PO3, similar as in 2022, came back in the range, broke structure, sell off. So if we compare that to what was happening in 2022, then you could potentially say that this is that range where you consolidate below your range before potentially continuing the downtrend. That is if we follow the 2022 fractal. However, I don't know if we're gonna do the exact same. Currently, we are already lower compared to what we were then. Then the consolidation was more located right here, failed to reclaim and then sold off. However, if we just look at it from a neutral bias, which you should always have, you can say that after we broke down from the range, with this being a range low, broke down, then simply what is price doing? it is in a downtrend right there. Lower low. So what do you do if you are in a downtrend? You pull your range from low to high. And then you can say, is this your first starting point? No, because you don't tap your mid-range. So you pull your range from low to high, and your range is valid if you tap the mid-range, which is right there. So at that point, you can say this is your range low, this is your range high. So we are in a high time frame downtrend, and then just neutral, not any bias. You say you have a naked low, you have a naked high right now. So this is just simply the range. And then what is price doing? Price is currently forming a new local range from this high to this low. So you can say this is your range right now, also with a high. Yeah, you swept the high right there. You kind of had like a local 1, 2, 3 right here. So there is the potential to come back to the range high. But my main expectation is that we will eventually come back for this low. And then maybe from there start to accumulate and go higher. For now, I'm just trading it level to level. So I see this as my range low, this as my range high. And anything in between here is just yeah, local price action with a local range. So let's look at the 2 hour, for example. What has price been doing? Here we had the local downtrend. Price took out you had your 1, 2, 3 right there. Came down, came up, swept your highs, and from there price has basically been in a local downtrend. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Broke structure back to bullish, but here you formed your 1, your 2, your 3. Broke structure back to bearish right here. So here we broke to bullish, here we broke to bearish. And what is an indication, if you have a market structure that continuously breaks back to bullish and bearish, that's an indication that you are in a range. If you are in a clean trend, then you form higher low, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, or lower low, low low, you know the game. But if you switch structure from higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high to lower low, lower high, lower low, low low, then you are in a range. So currently this is a range until proven otherwise. So last week's price action was this price action, and this week's price action is exactly almost identical to what we had last week. So as I said, what did price do this week? I'm not sure why this is now locked. I've never seen that before. Remove. Okay, weird. Let's just ignore that. That's okay. Let's just ignore it. I have no idea what it is. So here we have this local downtrend. We can skip this point. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, low low, lower high, lower low. But what does price do? It failed to close below your last low, which means that this is a swing failure pattern, an SFP, which means that you fail to close below your low and you are in a downtrend. So if price fails to close below your last low, that means the downtrend is signaling that it can't close below. So that's a signal that the high that brought you there is your weak targeted high. So we failed to close this low. So price came back for the high. And right now, internally, price broke structure back to bullish right here, which is like your 1 hour and your 4 hour. This is like the bullish break. But like the more important, if we look also at the volume profile, I believe from here to here, you can see that we flipped the POC and are right now going to the value area high of this week's price action, where this is the value area high. So let's remove all the price action, and then we can say this was our bullish break. Price pushed above, came back, retested some important levels, and now it's pushing above. However, is this a very convincing price action? To me, it's not really. I just see this as still the range. And right now, if we zoom in, this was our swing failure right there, SFP. This was our internal, or like the 1 hour, 4 hour break, so pretty important break. Then price broke above right here, retested some important levels, and right now we are seeing a lot of choppy price action right here, which was very hard to trade. I also did not trade it because, yeah, to me it was not clear. If we were truly bullish, then you should have held this internal uptrend, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, but price broke back to bearish right there locally, and then price came back down, and here you can see like a lot of yeah, like scam wicks where price broke down, left behind supply as mentioned in the video yesterday, and you had your local downtrend, high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price had like a scam wick up into supply, came back down, and from here you have yeah, a lot of choppy price action where quite a lot of volume occurred. Okay, this is like the USD chart, so that's not the best chart to show the volume on. But right now it is weekend and price is basically just following this price action. And then how I would look at it locally is that you can say this is your local high, this is your local low. So this is now locally the range I am looking at with like Friday's high is here. I'm not sure if we took it. Yeah, so price took out the Friday's high right there. But locally, I would say this is your high. We now have like the potentially the second tap, but in order to confirm that, you always need to break structure to confirm your second tap. And if you look at just local structure, what is your structure? Low, low, or higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So in order to confirm your second tap, you need to break this structure. But what I see is that you have like a demand here. So I'm not really feeling this for now as a distribution range, because what could happen is that price just mitigates demand and then goes higher. But we have to keep an eye on that this potentially is 1, 2, and then maybe the cleanest would be that you come back into demand, come back up, slow grind up, and then if you dare break your structure back to bearish, it can potentially be a 1, a 2, a 3, a distribution, and then go back to these local range lows. So for now, if we look at this week's levels, I just look at it from like level to level. We have on Monday's high right here, which was put in on Monday, which was a strong high. And then we made our low on, I have no idea why this is still locked. Oh, yeah, no, it's not locked in. Yeah, and we made our low on Thursday. And statistics also showed us that it's quite likely that we still make a new low. So it could happen, but I'm not leaning towards it because it's currently Saturday. Saturday is often a very slow day. And then later in Sunday, we get some action of usually. So let's look at it just from this perspective. Maybe if we come up to this, that I'm interested in shorts to write it down back to yesterday's low, and then maybe also previously weekly low, because this is, in my opinion, still a pretty significant low where a lot of liquidity is resting. So if we just also look at it from just the range perspective, then you want to trade at your range extremes, which at this point is range high and range low. So sweeping the range low right here would open the gates for me to look for swing longs back to the range high, and basically anything in between the middle of the range, which price is at right now, is just local price action, and then you can look for scalps, but usually you don't want to trade around your mid-range, and price is currently very nearby the mid-range, so not the place to become overly bullish or overly bearish. If we also look at the volume profile, let's look at it from this high to this low, then you see that we are currently above the value area low and the POC, but nearby the value area high. So my best expectation is that this is just a lot of chop until proven otherwise. So I wouldn't trade this locally too much. It's currently Saturday, so it is weekend, and I'm not sure what is currently going on with the US and Iran. But usually, if there are escalations, it happens during the weekend. So we have to keep an eye on that. Since crypto is the only market tradable, crypto will be the market that reacts on it. So that's level to mark. Currently looking at this high. What happens if we break above it? Do we close above it confidently, or is it an SFP? And then locally, this is your market structure low, so you can also say this is a level of interest. So alert above, alert below, and that's for me it basically. And we can quickly look at the TPO chart, and I see that in the weekend we have a spike in open interest, so positions are opening, which can give some volatility. But overall, if we just look at how does it look, we are above our weekly VWAP. We basically have, where's the drawing? If we manage to close confidently above like last week's high, which is this local high, then there's quite a lot of room to move towards this untested point of control. There's nothing in between basically. And on the downside, we have two POCs which are acting as support until proven otherwise. But if we close below, then this is the POC. So main interest is this lower POC and this higher POC. And basically anything in between is just a little bit of noise. So based on that, as I said, if we manage to close confidently above, then I would look for a higher low, for a higher high towards that POC right there, just above 70k. And if we do not manage to close confidently above, but give like slight deviations while not closing confidently above, then I will be looking for local shorts back to like the levels here and here. Beside that, oh, there went all my indicators. That was not what I wanted to do. Beside that, there is not much else to say. We are basically in a range, in the middle of the range. So then you want to play your local levels, or just wait for your extremes to be hit, which currently are the levels right here. Trading view is not doing what I want. Right here, this is like your extreme discount, and then extreme premium is right there. So if you are a swing trader, wait for these levels. If you are more of a scalper, look for your local levels. Beside that, just very ranging locally price action. So not much to say beside that. So I'm gonna also leave it at this, and then I want to wish you all a very happy weekend, and let's see what next week has to bring for us. Will be a big week for me. After next week, I'm gonna open the Discord, so we'll record some videos next week, and then a lot of action will happen in the Discord: daily live streams, daily analysis, daily statistic updates, a lot of stuff. So looking forward to that. For now, happy weekend and happy clicking.